Hello. All right, I wanted to come on live because the news about recent events with a relatively famous YouTuber. She's got like something like 700,000 subscribers. The news of what they have done with their adopted son has absolutely shook me to the core. I'm gobsmacked. So for those that don't know, Myka Stauffer is a, well, you call her a mummy blogger or vlogger or whatever you want to call her. A couple of years ago, she and her family went and adopted a child from China. They went and adopted him knowing fully well that they were adopting a special needs child. The child turns out is autistic, and he has been used to further their channel. They've had big updates about him. I think it was his adoption video even that went viral and made her really gain a follower. And yesterday the news broke publicly. I think it broke a little bit sooner than that to some of her subscribers, but I haven't watched her for quite a while. The news broke that they have in fact given away, or in their words, they rehomed their child, their adopted son, to his forever home. As a mum of an autistic child, this is absolutely shaking me to the core. The fact that they go and use him to gain subscribers and to gain viewers is absolutely shocking and terrifying. This child is not a dog that can be given away. He doesn't need rehoming. He needs parents who will not shove a camera in his face and use him for monetization purposes. Hey, the world. Thank you so much for the raid. Sincerely yours, Nadia. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming in. We're all talking about the news that a big YouTuber with hundreds of thousands of subscribers have just given away her autistic adopted son. She's used this child for years for monetization purposes. She's been shoving a camera in his face. She's, hello everyone, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. So this YouTuber has been using this child now for several years, gaining subscribers, gaining advertisings and everything. And hang on a second, now my child is crying. Give me 2 seconds. Talk amongst yourself. Hello. So you can imagine my shock when the news breaks that Myka Stauffer, YouTuber with over 700,000 subscribers, have rehomed her autistic child. It is absolutely, I don't even know what to think and what to feel, because this is not a family without financial means. This is a family who has, use their family, use themselves, their kids, their children, their autistic child, their adoption story about when they got him from China, knowing fully well they were getting a special needs child, and now they're going to go and throw him away. I'm absolutely, completely shocked to my core. Yeah, you guys can, I can see the shock in the comments. It is horrifying. It is absolutely horrifying. Someone with that kind of following, with the kind of income, she used him for advertising. She had sponsored contents using her son, her autistic child. She's got 4 other kids. They are all her biological children who all fit their stereotypical perfect family. Little Huxley, who is born in China, he is Chinese, and they went and got him knowing he was autistic or that he had special needs, and they went and specifically went for him anyway. I can't even understand how you can think like that. I just had to come on and talk about it because so my little boy he'll be 4 in September. He is the absolute light of my life. He's the most gorgeous little boy. He's nonverbal, means he has very, very limited vocabulary. Occasionally he might put 2 words together, but he is an absolute joy. As you saw, his smile just brightens up your day. He's gorgeous. And to think that this little boy, who, and I have to say as well, I'm getting emotional, guys. It's Miss Tia, no, it's not the same one. This is a story about a YouTuber with over 700,000 followers who went and adopted a child from China a few years back, has used him and his adoption story as a means of gaining subscribers, as a means of gaining sponsorships. You can see himself on the screen and he's loving it. So some of the things that they were doing, they were talking about, I actually followed this lady for a while. I haven't for probably about a year now because what they were doing just wasn't sitting right with me. She was homeschooling her other kids. Everything was, the picture perfect family. And this little boy was put into care. He was the only one who wasn't at home, who wasn't being schooled at home. It was just clear from the get-go that he was treated very differently to the other kids. And I can understand to an extent that autistic kids, because I have an autistic child myself, that they have different needs. But it was just so really obvious that he didn't fit, that when they got him and all the, the honeymoon period of an adoption and getting this child was over, they just went and sort of pushed him to the side. They also did this, it's quite a controversial therapy with him called ABA. I think it's more done in the USA than I've heard other places in the community that I'm in here in Australia. It's not a very promoted therapy because it has to do with absolute compliance. He was sucking his thumb. That was one of the things he was doing, which is, for kids, especially little kids, sucking it has to do with your nurture. When you're having your baby, you're feeding your baby, you're nursing your baby, and this whole sucking is a great way for them to soothe themselves. So They didn't want him to do that, so they duct taped his thumbs down. Their other little son, he would suck his thumb too. They didn't do that to him. In some ways, I'm almost glad he's rid of them. But imagine that, this child who came to America, he didn't know any English, he'd only heard Chinese. He's getting tossed into this family, and now they're just giving him away like he's a puppy. He's not a dog, he's a child. And oh my goodness, I'm just shocked to the core. I'm trying to hold back my tears because when I get angry, I cry. I'm just trying to sort of keep calm and keep to the case and keep to facts. And the reason I thought I went on this is because I have in fact followed this lady. It was probably around about a year ago, because I was homeschooling my oldest child, and she came up and I was searching for homeschooling at one point, and I just decided to follow her and her journey, and it just became clear that it was all for show. It was all for the likes. It was all for the subscribers, the sponsorships, and how anyone can just give up a child because they have special needs and their needs were more than they thought. I'm sorry, you don't get to choose that. When you choose to adopt someone with special needs, you have them for life. You need to do, when you have the financial means to help that child, you use those means. I'm not very happy. Sincerely yours, Nadia. Her name is Myka Stauffer. I've written her name in the description, so you should be able to see it. Yep, her channel is still up. I just checked just before I went on to see. It's it is absolutely horrifying. I don't know what was going to happen. I've actually gone in there and reported some of her videos because she's putting on a show that's not real. She's exploiting this child, or she was exploiting this child. I'm almost thinking, thank goodness he is now with someone who's going to love him and care for him. And yeah, so I don't know if anyone's heard of her before. She's a piece of work. Yeah, she definitely, you're quite right. I seriously think YouTube needs to step in and they need to shut her down, because this is absolutely horrid. They went ahead. She had another baby last year, about I think 12 months ago. So she went in and had another child when she already knew that they weren't coping with the one that they had. So she's got 4 biological kids now, and she had this adopted child, Huxley. Sincerely yours, Nadia. I'm going to see if I can. This is my first time on. There we go. Yes. This is my first time using StreamYard. I'm still learning how to do it, but I did so I could put up your comments and everything, because it is absolutely if you can go in, just search for the name. Her channel name is her name, so Myka Stauffer, so Myka Stauffer. Go in and report her, because this is not on. She put up a video the other day, and they're all teary and talking about how much they will always love him. But far out, those of us that sort of been seeing her videos before, oh yeah, and that video, by the way, has got over 1.5 million views at the moment. So she even managed to use his rehoming. I'm calling it that because that's what it is. Yeah, I'm hoping now, Nadia, that he's apparently now with a lady who's a specialist in special needs kids. I'm hoping he's now in with someone who's going to give him the life he deserves, the life he was meant to have, not the life in the big fancy house with you know, the big fancy rooms and everything. And yeah, that was actually also one of the reasons I ended up stop following this lady. She's her first videos were always very minimalistic. She put herself out there as being a minimalist and wanted to. They even talked about getting a tiny home, and then they went and bought a McMansion because, well, it gives views. Renovations and new big house tours, that gives lots of views. Yeah, I think so many people are absolutely shocked to what they've done. For quite a while now, people have been asking where he is in a lot of her comments, and she's been blocking and blocking people and removing their comments from her channel up until now. They were asking, how's she crying without a damn tear? Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. So seriously, there's so many things. As I said, my son is he's what we call a level 2-3. So it has to do with the support kids need when you put levels on autism. It's level from 1 to 3, 3 being the most support needed. My son is level 2-3 because there's 2 criteria that they use. So he is level 3 because he's nonverbal, and he's level 2 in the other one, which has to do with sort of social behaviors, repetitiveness, things like that. So he needs a significant amount of support. He's our youngest. We have 2 other children. But you know what? I'd do anything. I'd sell my kidney if I had to make sure he got the help he needed. That they couldn't see that. He didn't fit into their perfect little family. It was too much. How can you do that to a child? How can you do that? Take him away from the only family he's known. Yeah, yeah, Shay, you're completely right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like one of her videos was like a thing about laundry powder, and she uses this child as a means of advertising it. I can't believe it. Hi CJ, thank you so much for coming in. So for those, I don't know if there's any, CJ, you just popped in. So we're talking about a relatively big YouTuber. She's got over 700,000 subscribers. She made it big when she adopted a little boy from China, knowing fully well that he has special needs. And the reason is China only do overseas adoption with their special needs children. The children that has a disability gets adopted to overseas. children without disabilities can get adopted within China. Thank you, CJ. I'm a bit flustered because this story that's broken about this YouTuber has just shook me absolutely to the core. No, Nadia, he's not flying back to China because he would have American citizenship by now. At least I hope he does. But he's been adopted, or is being adopted by another family. So she went ahead and got an adoption lawyer that only does, and someone had done some research on this particular lawyer. He doesn't do international adoptions. He only does domestic adoptions within the USA. He is being adopted by another family after this family has had him for 2 years. Yeah, he didn't fit their picture-perfect lifestyle. He had, thank you, CJ, I really appreciate it. So she adopted this child from China, knowing fully well it was a special needs child because that's all China does for overseas adoptions. Now, 2 years later, they are rehoming said child. They are rehoming him like he is a puppy, like he is a dog that's outstayed its welcome. But seriously, my dogs get treated way better than that. I couldn't even give away my dog. It's just, yeah. It's completely and utterly horrifying that someone could give away their child. I'm just thinking, what if one of her biological children has a disability as well? What if it turns out that one of her newest baby, so say, because autism usually shows up at around about 1.5 years of age, that's when you can usually start seeing telltale signs. That's when I started seeing it with our son. But also, actually, looking back at videos of him when he was a baby, knowing now what I know, I can see signs back then as well. Even when he was like 6-7 months old, I can see now in videos. Yeah. But yeah, what if one of her biological children has autism, severe autism, or ends up in a wheelchair? There's an accident. What is she going to do with them then? Is she going to give them away as well? How can someone justify doing something like that? Yeah, completely distraught by all of this. I just, as a mother, how can someone give up a child that has been 2 years in their care, that they adopted from overseas? By the way, they actually fundraised for his adoption. They did a I can't remember if it was a GoFundMe or if it was what it was, but it was a fundraising. They had a fundraising thing to adopt this child. They didn't even pay for it themselves. By the way, if anyone wants to come up on the screen and chat, you are more than welcome. Just let me know and I think I can pop a link. Yes, Shay, absolutely. And CJ as well. It is, she literally used this child for all it was worth. Got massive with his adoption video 2 years ago. That made her huge. I'm trying to think how many. I can't remember how many subscribers she used to have, but yeah, she's sitting at over 700,000 now, and most of those have sort of come in the last couple of years. She's part of this group of sort of mummy vloggers and stuff, and this is really, it's mortifying to think that someone could just give up their child like that. Yeah, CJ, I'm completely agreeing, and which is why I unfollowed her about a year ago. I didn't like the way she was using him whenever she wanted more subscribers, whenever she wanted views, or for sponsored content. Very rarely otherwise did she have him up. It was only when it would benefit. Seriously, I'm hoping YouTube will shut her down, because this is horrifying to treat a child like that. Yeah. Oh, it is. I had absolutely no plans on going live at all today. I put up a video earlier, and then I was reading up about this, and I just got mad. I got angry, I got upset, and I really felt that as a special needs mum of a child with autism, they need a voice, and we need to show people that they aren't a commodity to be used and thrown away when it doesn't suit anymore. And when you then, in addition, haven't gone and adopted this child, taken him away from everything he'd ever known, brand new language that he didn't know, put him into a family, had him for 2 years, and then I'm just going to give him away. Oh, it is shocking, and it is horrifying, and yeah, I just feel like they just completely used him. And the tears in that video that they put up yesterday, I think they did, the crying one, the crying with no tears, I feel that was all for the views. It was all because they've been called out. They couldn't hide it anymore. They couldn't hide the fact that they'd given away their child when they have the money and the means to keep him, to give him proper therapies, the kind of therapies that knows that, you know what, autistic kids see the world in a different way. They are absolutely beautiful people who deserve. I don't know if you can hear mine. He's really happy and he's stomping around at the moment. He's been outside playing, and you know what? It's, yeah, how people can think that way. I don't know. I don't understand. Yes, CJ, exactly. If you decide to bring a child into your life, you agree to keep the child as your own forever, as if it is your own child, no matter what the child may have. Love is the ultimate solution. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's, oh, I just can't. The second, you know, that child gets put in your arms, whether that's through adoption or if it's through birth or however means, you agree to love that child. You agree to keep that child safe and loved. And yeah, I just feel like he wasn't good enough, so he just got tossed out with the bathwater kind of thing. It's, yeah. Hello, Soldier Poet. Thank you so much for coming in. Oh, God. I should have brought a glass of water with me, because I'm talking so much that I'm getting tired in my voice. Yeah, thank you for going there and blasting them. Thank you. I appreciate that, actually. But yeah, Yeah, exactly the world. It's like, what is it? Hurts renting children. Yeah, I completely agree. It feels exactly like that's what they were doing. They kept him while he was little and cute, and they could make money off of him. And now that's become too much. They had ample opportunities to give him, to nurture, to give him the kind of therapies that would nurture him, instead of, one of the things with the ABA therapies that they were doing is, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is that they teach them absolute compliance. It means that if you say something, they have to obey. Can anyone see an issue with that? Problem is, when people have interviewed autistic children, well, now adults who've had this kind of therapy put to them, they've actually compared it to, the gay lesbian conversion therapies. They've compared it to that. It's comparable to that. They are trying to just completely change who the person is, and that's what they were doing to this little boy. Duct taping down his thumb so he couldn't suck it, which was something that would soothe him and comfort him and make him feel safe. My little boy, he loves sucking on stuff. He doesn't suck on his thumbs, but he will take his jumper and he will suck on that. And Zero the Infinite. No, so this lady adopted a child a couple of years ago from China, and he had, knowing fully well he had special needs, and now she has rehomed him because he didn't suit her lifestyle anymore. She's got 4 other kids, and yeah, this little boy, she has now re-adopted out to another family. So she used this child as a way of monetizing her YouTube channel, getting sponsorships, getting subscribers. And yeah, so what the world mentioned up there, it's like, yeah, they're treating this child as a child for rent. So they kept him when he was little and cute, and now they're throwing him out. Yeah. So it is horrifying, to say the least, that these are people that are, yeah, she's got four kids, and the youngest one was born around about a year ago. So she ended up having another child after they adopted this child, which might also have made him possibly hard to deal with, because bringing another baby into the equation with the special needs child that has, especially with autism, they need routines, they need familiarity. Changes, especially very drastic changes, can be really, really hard for them. So then, and she's saying now, that it's been several years of them not coping with him, and that we've only seen the little snippets. Yeah, but he's still your son. He's still your child that you adopted knowing he had disabilities and that he had special needs and that he was going to need a lot of love and a lot of support, therapies, and lots of work to make him being able to function in the best way he knows how. It's not a matter of making him like us. That's not going to work. They're autistic. They're not going to work like us. That's fine. We just need to learn how to coexist with them, knowing what can set knowing that what can set them off, knowing how to be kind, how to be patient. Yeah. Hey, what's a quote? And this, yeah, again, this family is they preach their love for their God, for their families, but doesn't it say love is patient, love is kind? How is giving up on your child kind? How is that showing them love? I don't get it. I don't get how someone who has the financial means of keeping a child, how they can just throw him out. You know what? If this had been a poor family, if this had been their biological child that they know were unable to support, who they were unable to give the proper therapies for them to be able to function within themselves and finding strategies for themselves to help them, then okay, you know what? I probably would have been fine with this. But to use a child so blatantly to gain subscribers and views as money off YouTube, it's just not okay. In no way, shape or form is this okay. It's they're giving, seriously, they're giving adoption and special needs a bad name. Seriously, it's like, yeah, I don't know, you can just throw them out whenever you feel like it. It's horrifying. It is horrifying. Yes, Cyril the Infinite, the love of money is the root of all evil. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. It didn't fit into their lifestyle, their nice, perfect house and home, and their beautiful, picture-perfect blonde family. And please, no offense to people who are blonde. All my kids are blonde. But it's just, they were like this beautiful, picture-perfect, something you'd see on a Hallmark card, or in a Hallmark Christmas video movie for Christmas. They're the ultimate family, and clearly they felt like he didn't fit in. Yeah, you'd hope so, CJ. Yeah, one day she'll learn from a grave mistake. If not, she will learn the hard way. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a big believer in karma. I'm a bigger believer in you get what you deserve. You get what you work for. When you put time and effort and love into something, I know it will come back to you. If you throw your child, I'm sorry, I hope that comes back to her tenfold as well. Oh, how can someone do that? It is absolutely horrible. Oh, yeah. Trying to keep my cool, but I just don't understand it. How is it possible, guys? Could you ever imagine if one of your children, I don't know if any of you have kids with special needs. I know some of you've got kids. CJ, you've got a gorgeous daughter. She's absolutely amazing. The love we have for our children, it's amazing. How can they just give that away? I just don't understand it. So yeah, I'm gonna probably finish up this live. Now I've got stuff. I should have been out and doing stuff. We are currently we've excavated our entire backyard a couple of weeks ago, and we're currently putting in new garden beds and everything, and which I can't wait to finish with you. But yeah. Oh, CJ, let's see. I just read her about page, and in the description, the first word she says is, yeah. Yeah, that just tells you everything you need to know about her. Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. No, you're quite right. It's, yep, he doesn't mean anything, and that's all she cares about. It's, yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree. It's, someone can just use a child like that. And now I haven't seen this, but a comment I've seen about it somewhere else mentioned that they're still talking about adoption. I'm thinking these guys need to be banned. They cannot adopt another child, because to me it's like they're not doing it for the right reasons. Oh dear. My husband's home, at least he can. I don't know if you can hear him crying in the background, but yeah. Oh dear. Oh, you're very welcome, CJ. Oh dear. Oh. Oh. Okay. Yeah, they need to be banned from adoption. It's giving a child away like that, it's, yeah, it's not on. Yeah, he needed a little hug and then he ran away. Oh, he does what he wants to. It's, yeah. But you guys, I'm gonna slowly sort of finish this up. I've got some stuff that I need to do. I've got some plants that needs to be planted out, and a house that needs to be tidied. But I really just needed to come out and vent my grievances about this, because it is not on. These kind of guys needs to be called out on their behavior. They need to be told that this is not okay. They need to be checked. Then YouTube need to step in. And thank you, CJ. Thank you, Jacinda. I'm really happy that you came. In. This is so great topic. Yeah, it is just something that I didn't even plan any of this. I've literally just done this off the top of my head because, yeah, I was reading about it and I knew who this person was and I had followed her, and it's just really, really upset me, and I just really felt that, you know what, people need to call her out. I know there's lots of other people who are doing reactions to all of this. I just really felt like you guys needed to come in and being allowed to having a say as well, which is why I didn't just want to do it as a video. I love having these conversations with you guys. But yeah, definitely I'm very glad that I came on, because I just felt like I've got my shoulders, and yeah, it's well, I don't understand it. It's happened, and I'm just hoping that this little boy now gets the support and the help that he needs to live a fulfilling and happy life, that he feels love and that he feels supported, and yeah, that he can become whoever he wants to be. And yeah, I think I'm going to end it all there. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in and interacting, commenting, sharing links. Thank you for those that did that. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I really appreciate you all being here, and I really appreciate your support. And I hope to see you again soon. And have a fantastic day. Yeah, bless you all.